I'm Andrew Patterson from interest.co.nz and welcome to another in our business success series. Today I'm with Andrew Vivian, the co-founder of Tasty Pot. Hi Andrew.
Hi Andrew.
Andrew, tell us a little bit about this business, how it got started and your vision for Tasty Pot.
Very passionate about food and fine food and wine, and so we'd been travelling. My wife and I, Natalie, have been travelling for 8 years through Europe and working for some very interesting companies. And I guess it probably started though in France. We were washing dishes in a kitchen in the south of France, and so learning how to cook through them, but probably more importantly buying the fresh produce from the local markets, and I guess that inspired a lot of the passion behind what we're doing. And then I guess the whole time we were travelling, we were looking for what that idea could be, and this was the first thing that we kind of found that we both agreed on finally. So we came back to New Zealand and did our research and spoke to a lot of people and saw there was a gap in the market for sort of fresh convenience food, and I guess the rest is history.
And that's what you put the emphasis on. It's high quality ingredients and no artificial additives, all those sort of things.
That's right. I mean, at the core of what we do is what we make in terms of the quality, and so finding the best quality produce, sourced locally wherever we can, is essential, because ultimately if someone buys something for the first time, it's not good, they're not going to buy it again. So that's definitely important to us, and we don't have any production shortcuts or funny business in there. So it's as you'd make it home, only you didn't have to.
Was it one of those ideas that came to you and you saw a gap? Because we tend to think that this is a very crowded space, all the food gaps are already well taken care of, but clearly when you had a look at it, you saw there was an opportunity there.
Yeah, we saw a huge gap. I mean, New Zealand is, we've got quite advanced taste buds, as a country, but we saw from a convenience point of view, we were quite a long way behind what we were seeing in Europe and the UK. So I guess the challenge was the shelf life, because if you want it to be fresh and natural and have no preservatives or E numbers, that sort of thing, it's a short shelf life product, and I guess that was the biggest challenge. The supermarket said you can't make a 10-day shelf life product work, so that was, I guess, the proving them wrong in that sense, and then I guess educating consumers that you can have it all. There's a very traditional, traditionally, if you had the convenience, you had to trade off on something else, whether that was price or quality or taste, and people are increasingly realising that you can have all of those things, and so we set out about trying to create that.
Did you start off very small? You was kind of making it from your home kitchen or something, and then grew it accordingly from there.
We the first pots I remember very clearly were in Mum's kitchen, trying to get the concepts right, and we spent a good 8 or 9 months writing the business plans, and then speaking to as many people as we could about, are we on the right track, and I guess fine-tuning the recipes. So the first started in the kitchen, and then but we took on this facility with a view to growth. So I guess being that the nature of the product that we make has to be very clean in terms of the environment we cook it in, and has to have very high quality standards, being food produce. So.
Did you find that quite a challenge though, to step from kind of making it in a home kitchen environment to actually having to produce at scale?
Yes, certainly, and that's actually a challenge that we face when we develop new recipes. We develop them, in a small batch environment, and then taking that to a mass-produced scale, even though it's all done by hand and it's the same concept, but producing the bigger volumes means that it's a challenge. Yeah, certainly.
What else have you found in terms of the SME sector? It's difficult because you don't have all of those those advantages that the bigger companies have, but you also have the advantage that you can be very nimble in terms of the way you market your product. So how have you dealt with both of those dimensions of running a business?
Yeah, I mean, we see it as a massive opportunity, because I think that the bigger guys are less flexible, and maybe they're a little bit more stuck in their ways of how it's worked for them. And I guess for us, we place a huge amount of importance in engaging our consumers, because hey, we don't have the big marketing budgets to advertise. So for us, word of mouth is crucial, and so we try and do the small things that maybe the bigger companies don't deem as important or don't think is going to drive their business. For us, that's crucial. It's because it's those small things that people don't expect. To sort of, I guess, surprise and delight, and give them a story to then tell their friends. So for us, for instance, on our packaging, we put little quirky little stories, and have a bit of fun, and I guess reward people for taking the time to pick us up. We feel that we owe them, I guess, the time to try and make them smile, and yeah.
Obviously, customer engagement is really important for you. How do you go about engaging with your customers?
Oh, it's crucial for us. I mean, we're, as I said, at the core of what we do is the quality of what we make, but you've got to have the brand behind that as well, I think. Well, for us, that's really important. We want to create a brand we can be proud of, and a brand that's, I guess, a little bit different, and we try and be a bit quirky. It's a constant, we're constantly trying to improve how we do it, but we've got a tone of voice that's a little bit cheeky, a little bit quirky, and I think that's a nice kind of dimension along with the quality of what we make. Yeah.
Tell us a bit about the product range and how you decided on this combination of salads and soups and the other ranges that you've decided to produce.
Yeah, so we started with a range of meals, five meals, and the idea behind that was it was an easy way, to get your recommended portions of veg for the day. So you hear a lot about the 5 a day, getting your fruit and veg. We thought, wouldn't it be great if you knew you could get your full veg for the day in an easy, convenient, healthy, tasty format that you trusted. So that kind of inspired the meal. So you've got your sauce, your carb, and your veg portion. And then from there we thought, well, actually, the soup category is, Kiwis seem to love soup, and for us that was a more established market that we could potentially get our brand out a little bit more, and trade people across to the meals that we were doing. And so we launched a range of soups, and we also felt there was the potential definitely there to I guess, lift the bar on the quality. And then we looked at our business and thought, actually, there's a gap in the summer, and the idea of being able to buy little salads, as a grab and go for lunch, an alternative to the Brussels sprout sandwich and blueberry muffin, so the salads were born, and I guess from there we felt like we most importantly had that offering that people could, whether it was lunch or dinner, there was an easy, convenient kind of meal there.
And one of the key features of this product, of course, is its convenience, and you've found some interesting distribution channels, for instance, in petrol stations and in schools as well.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, schools for us, we're really passionate about that side of things. So yeah, it's slow going, and it all certainly helps with awareness, and there's also the idea of helping out, and I guess doing our bit for helping with healthy eating with kids. Yeah.
Is that something that you find is growing? You're seeing your turnover move because that's where the population is more and more heading towards?
I think the core of what gives our business scale are the supermarkets, and scale is certainly important for a startup business. So we can supplement that with those other kind of touch points, so to speak, like the schools and the petrol stations and the cafes, and it's certainly an area that we're looking to get more into, because ultimately anyone who's looking for a healthy, convenient meal, everyone has to eat. So it's about finding those points at which it's convenient for people to have that option.
Now, you only have 10 staff, and that's a real challenge, isn't it? Because you've got all these growth aspirations. How do you manage growth with a business that is only employing 10 staff?
Yeah, well, first of all, it's about picking the right people to work for us. So that's crucial. That's one of the most important things for us. So we put a lot of time and effort into that process, and picking people who, I guess, have the same values as what we stand for as a business, and have the same aspirations, because for us it's really important that everyone is part of that growth, and everyone's contributing to it, and everyone feels like they have a say in it. So I guess finding the right people is the first part, and then you've only got so many hours in the day, and it's really important to have that work-life balance and to get out of bed feeling like you're looking forward to going to work, and you're proud of what you're doing. So it's about, I guess, prioritising your time and working out what are the most, there's always a million things you could be doing, but what are those things that are going to actually really help get us to where we want to be, and I guess everyone in the business is clear on that. We want to be New Zealand's favourite little fresh meal company.
And because of the shelf life, I suppose you are somewhat limited to just the domestic market.
Yeah, the shelf life is a challenge, and so I mean there's huge opportunities within the New Zealand domestic market, and for us that's what we want to get right. We want to create a brand that resonates with Kiwis, and we've certainly got our work cut out there before we look further afield. Yeah.
Some of the other businesses we've spoken to in this series in the food space have spoken about the difficulty of getting into the supermarkets, getting shelf space. Have you found that's been a problem for you?
We've actually found it fairly easy, because I think if you can show the supermarkets that you've got a product that's going to grow their category, it's not another Me Too product that's actually going to deliver growth, which is what they essentially are after, then they're going to be receptive to it. So we've actually found that we've held back on our distribution, and part of that is because of our shelf life. And I guess if you put something in which is new, and it is a kind of a new concept to people, then it takes a while for people to get used to it. And this isn't a product that can sit on the shelf for months and months like some meals out there, and so you've got to drive that awareness, so that the supermarket can see that it's going to turn over. They're not going to have to throw it in the bin. So for us, we've been quite responsible in how we grow that distribution. So the biggest part is that education piece, that actually a product with 10 days, 12 days shelf life is going to work. Yeah.
What about online? Is that a channel that is working for you at the moment and potentially could do more for you in the future?
Yeah, certainly. I mean, we have a lot of fun on from a brand point of view online. Again, there's never enough time to do what you want, but things like Facebook, our website. We have tractors and chickens running around, and it's kind of a nice extension of our brand. And we've got, we do things like monthly newsletters to our family, and Christmas presents that, the things that again surprise them and I guess engage them. And from a sales point of view, it's something that we've looked at in terms of doing business. Send outs instead of the office pizza run on Friday. Why not have healthy range of meals and salads and soups? So it's something we're looking at. Yeah.
Yeah, because you're doing drops to business as well, business lunches and so forth too, aren't you?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's the old expression. There's no such thing as a free lunch, but we are actually trying to do that, because for us it's a great awareness. It's a captive audience. It's an audience that are going to talk to the person who's sitting next to them, and so it's a good brand exposure piece. It costs us money to do that, but for us it's a really good way of getting the brand out there and getting people to have a taste, and as I said, once they've done that, generally they go on.
So you're not spending a lot in above the line marketing? Not
a cent, no. I mean, we'd love to, and we see, you see the TUI billboards and things like that, and we'd love to do something fun and quirky like that. But at this stage, for us, it's things like, talking to our customers through the packaging. We get a lot of press. We've been very fortunate that a lot of the magazines and people like yourself have paid us attention and given us space. So my wife does all that, and she does a fantastic job, and we're probably getting to the stage where people are going to start expecting us to advertise, but it all goes back into the business to I guess grow the range that we make, and most importantly continue to work out how to make it better in terms of the quality.
Yeah. Just finally, Andrew, of course, the thrill of running your own business is something that people often talk about and aspire to, but what do you enjoy most about being in charge of your own business?
Well, I mean, it's certainly a roller coaster. But it's a huge amount of fun. It's hugely rewarding to see the people that we have working for us. And we've got a fantastic Tongan community mainly down there. We've got a mother and a brother and a sister and a cousin. You know, it's so that's really rewarding and showing them what all their hard work is leading to outside the factory walls is amazing. And I guess it's knowing that whatever happens, you can create something from scratch. We don't have the politics of a bigger business. There's not the red tape. We know what we're trying to do, and we want to have a bit of fun, along the way. And I guess that environment you can look forward to getting out of bed for in the morning.
So what sort of growth targets have you set yourself for the future?
Do better than last week, last month, last year. I mean, you can spend a lot of time budgeting, but we just want to, continue to grow and to grow our awareness, because once people have a taste, 9 times out of 10 they love it. I mean, and that's a big challenge for us, is about getting that awareness out there on limited budgets.
Well, Andrew, this is a business which is clearly ticking all the right boxes. It's delivering healthy food to people in a convenient way, and I guess it's a business that really has quite a bit of growth potential still left in it. Yeah,
certainly. Jump on our website and check us out, tastyport.co.nz.